Hi guys. So I wanted to do a one-off video, and I first want to say I got makeup on my sweatshirt, and I didn't want to change it because I really wanted to wear it, so I'm not going to change it. So just disregard, okay? But anyways, last year I did a video on 10 things I learned in 2022. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue. So today I'm going to talk about 10 things I learned in 2023, but it's gonna be with a twist. It's gonna be a little of my self-care added into it. So I started this tradition years ago where I kind of like spend Christmas by myself. And since it's Christmas, I decided that I am going to, well, it's Christmas Eve today, but I decided Christmas Eve and Christmas Day that I was just gonna eat and do whatever I want. But while I talk about 10 things I learned in 2023, we're gonna have a little chocolate covered strawberry session. So I bought this little fondue thingy. It came with a cute red bowl. Oh, and I was so sad about that bowl because it was so cute. It was red and it had fondue written on the side, and it was like red and white, and it was cute. And I broke it because I'm clumsy. But anyways, I found I have another little serving bowl that I usually put my fruits or grits or whatever in when I'm making brunch, or you know, in my sauces. It's like a little sauce bowl that I have, and it actually fits. So this is what I'm going to use instead. And I hope this thing works, because I don't know how this is going to go, and I hope it don't burn my bowl. So that is lit. Yeah, the fire is lit, and then we're gonna go ahead and just put the little bowl in there and see if it's gonna melt the chocolate, because that's a little light. And then I actually have the little, it came with 4 of them, but it's just me, so I'm just gonna use this one. So while I'm gonna let that melt a little bit. I'm gonna see if that melts, and then I'm gonna come back, and then we're gonna get started. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. It was taking too long. So I heat up the chocolate in the microwave, and I put it back on here so it will just keep it warm. So I'm not even gonna lie. But anyways, that's white chocolate that I have melted, and my strawberries are, you can see it's wet. It's all rinsed. I'm not eating straight out the pack. Let me rinse off my thingy. All right. And my strawberries are already rinsed, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. The year of 2023 is almost to an end, and so I wanted to take this time to tell you guys what I learned in 2023. So our first lesson is self-love, and what I've learned about self-love is just self-discovery. So the reason for someone not loving themselves is honestly because they don't know who they are. When you truly know yourself and who God has created you to be, you will love every single part of you. Why? Because you know that you are not perfect. You will learn self-compassion, self-forgiveness, how to be kinder to yourself. Everything you give to others, you will give it to yourself, because you are worth it. You understand yourself. Let's get back. I almost lost my train of thought. But self-love gives a sense of confidence, and I'm not saying that you see that something you're doing is hurting someone and you just like let it go. What I'm saying is you'll realize that part of you needs to evolve, but you give yourself that compassion that I was talking about while you work on that aspect of yourself. So you show yourself compassion in those moments when you're not feeling like your best self, and you trust God that everything is going to be okay. So show yourself some love and tender care. Take the time to look in the mirror and actually like what you see. You'll know that outside opinions don't matter. Stop accepting projection, because that's how other people feel about themselves. Be confident in who you are, inside and out. When others judge you, just know that's because they judge themselves. They judge themselves because they don't like themselves. And why they don't like themselves? It's because they don't know who they are or see themselves the way God created them. Don't focus on outside opinions. Focus on discovering yourself, getting closer to God so He can show you that and be of love. And then once that happens, you'll be an example for those other people, so they will learn to love themselves as well. So God will soften you up, just like He did with me, because I used to be very masculine, and God softened me up. He humbled me, straight humbled me, but I love it. I love every bit of it. Number 2, change begins with you. You gotta choose differently. Sometimes we want others to change. We want our circumstances to change. But how can that happen when we don't change? We are not meant to stay the same. We are meant to grow, and we are meant to evolve. If you feel like your life is stagnant, then maybe you need to change something. Stop expecting other people to change to be what you want them to be to meet your needs. If they aren't changing, okay, then maybe you need to do something different. I wanted men to treat me better, but yet I'm being a pick-me or a yes woman, or not showing them my true selves and wondering why things don't work out for me. I realized that I was attracted to emotionally unavailable men. So I had to decide to become more in tune with my own emotions so that I could become emotionally available. And then once I did that, my taste in men has changed completely. And the more I evolve overall, the more my taste in a lot of things change. For example, the kind of clothing that I wear, the places I want to go, what fun looks like, my hobbies, all of that changed for me. So I just started choosing different things that are more aligned with me and who I am. Now, the third lesson is something I'm still learning, and that is trust God, because God got you. Talk to God and leave it. Easier said than done, but just think of a lot of situations that you've been in and you didn't see a way out. If you're watching this video, then that means you're still here, you're still standing strong. And you might be in a situation right now just worried and frustrated. We've all been there, but I'm pretty sure you've felt this way before and it worked out for you. And you realize you were worried for nothing. Replace worry with praise. I'm gonna tell you a good song to listen to. Listen to Praise Him in Advance by Marvin Sapp. And then journal to get those thoughts out, or even talk to God. I started trusting God when I realized that doubting Him wasn't going to get me anywhere. Do doubts still creep in? Yes, it do. At the end of the day, God gives us all of the tools that we need to keep us going. Fellowship with someone that can help you remain focused in God, and for me, that's one of my good friends and my sister-in-law. And focus on what He's told us. Focus on His word, things that we learn, and what He tells you. And me learning to be honest and vulnerable with God was the biggest help in learning to trust Him, because I realized I always got an ease or a sense of comfort when I stopped trying to hold back and just tell God how I truly felt, because He knows our heart anyways. So trust Him. If you can't trust not a single person on this earth, know that you can trust God. The fourth thing I learned was you're not bored, you're finally at peace. Sometimes chaos can be a norm, and when you're not in that chaos, you think something is wrong. You may start to look for it. You may do as I did at first and think that you're bored or boring because you're so used to hustling and being on the go, and when life slows down, it doesn't feel right. But once the anxiety has ceased, and I was resting more and my mind wasn't racing all the time, I started to want more of that. And I realized that my brain wasn't on go, and I could have better conversations because I could focus on listening to others rather than my mind was just going in and out, because I'm at some point in the middle of the conversation just thinking about different things that I have to do, thinking of different things that I got going on, and trying to make sure that I'm remembering everything that I gotta do, and also just making sure that I'm not forgetting anything. So you're not bored, you're taking a breather, you're at peace. 5, the fifth thing I learned was the importance of having a relationship with God. My relationship with God grew so much this year, tremendously. I believe last year I told y'all I learned to stop fighting life. Well, this year I learned to stop fighting God, because you're just not gonna win. You're not gonna win a fight against God. Just stop. God is in control. So building a relationship with God has taught me that life is really not that hard. I was so focused on creating a life that was not what God intended for me, and the foundation of that just had to crumble because it wasn't a strong foundation. It was my own doing. And having a relationship with God, I learned that He is my foundation. I'm not saying that life is all peachy, what I'm saying is when things happen, I run to God like he's my daddy. I run to God to get that comfort and nurture like a mother. I talk to God when I'm in need of a friend. And God has placed people in my life that actually tells me what I need to hear in certain moments. People that actually get me and understand me, And so God fights my battles. He fights your battles. God is my guiding light. Literally, I literally thought that I was just filled with anxiety, and I'm so at peace now. Like, I'm so peaceful to the point where when I start feeling anxious or confused, I know that I'm just not in the right environment, or I'm outside of God's will. So yeah, my relationship with God is just like, it has helped me. It has helped me to start seeing myself the way God sees me, to hear God better, to get clear on the purpose that he has for my life, and move in the right direction. Move in the direction that he wants for me, So that's another thing I learned. Like, just having that relationship with God was everything, and it taught me who God really is, not who I thought God to be. I actually learned, let me say am, because I'm still learning God, but I learned that God is not who I thought he was, And so I started building my own personal, intimate relationship. And then the sixth thing I learned is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Growth comes with experience, and that usually comes with being put in uncomfortable situations. Being in the unknown. I learned that when I'm put in uncomfortable situations, for example, when I was back home this summer, it taught me that in those instances, give me a second, uncomfortability, those instances of uncomfortability, that those moments are for me to learn something. Those moments are God's new direction. Those moments taught me that there is always solutions. Those moments taught me to trust God more and more. Those moments taught me the cycle of life. So when I'm uncomfortable, not saying that it feels good, I'm definitely not saying that it feels good, but my mindset now is like, okay, it's time. My mindset now is like, when things start, going a little iffy, I learned that my mindset is just, okay, it's time for a change. It's time to go to the next level, or I'm moving in my next chapter. You just start viewing life from a more optimistic viewpoint when you get in, when you get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Y'all. Woo. Number 7, move in silence, not seeking outside validation. I realized the importance of moving in silence when you have dreams and goals. It's not always a jealousy when telling others your vision or goal that's the blockage. I realized that sometimes we want others' approval or support, and they do not have the vision that you have. They may not have the same interests as you. They may sometimes not even have the same level of maturity as you, where they're not even clear on their own goals to even support you. It's your dream, not theirs. And when you don't have the support that you want to have, and realize that some people aren't into the same things as you, you won't need them to move forward. You won't let doubt creep in because they're not as enthusiastic about your dream as you. So I've learned to keep my dreams and goals between me and God, do my part, and let God do the rest. That's getting a little hot. It's getting a little hot. I might even blow that candle out, because we almost done. And I ain't like, ooh. Number 8, accountability. You're not perfect. You're not always right. I mean, come on now. It's not always the other person. If it's always the other person, then that's just like a red flag. Like, just flashing lights to me. But no, it's more than taking accountability when making mistakes or admitting that you did wrong. I also mean taking accountability for my life. Stop seeking others to make my life happy or make me happy. Stop expecting others to solve my problems. Stop seeking others to feel sorry for me and things that happen to me in my life. Everybody got their own things that they are dealing with. So I'm responsible for my own happiness. I'm responsible for getting up to work despite how tired I am. I'm responsible for my own choices and decisions and accepting what comes with those choices and decisions I make. I'm responsible for getting up each day and choosing to be happy and declaring that I am going to have a good day. I'm responsible for waking up each morning and spending that time with God. I'm responsible for getting up in the morning and going to the gym in the morning each morning because I know that I want to look good. I have to take accountability for my life, and stop expecting things to just come to me or miraculously happen and change when I have to do my part. So accountability comes more than just, when it comes to people. Take accountability for your life. So I had to learn that too. Like I had to stop with the self-pity and the pity party with myself and just get my behind up. That was it. and things started moving for me. Number 9, this is the biggest thing that I learned this year. I should put it as number 1, but it was forgiveness. This has been my biggest lesson. I didn't realize how much unforgiveness can affect your life until I started forgiving. Especially when I learned how to forgive myself. It's so freeing. We need to realize how much unforgiveness can cause us to project or be paranoid or develop trust issues towards others because of how much we are holding on to that baggage of what others have done to us. Forgiving my childhood, forgiving things that happened to me has helped me to finally let go of my past, and that really set me free. I would not have known what true joy, love, or happiness look like. I would have not known what those things look like had I not forgiven. And that's all I ever wanted, to be so honest with y'all. Forgiveness restored my hope and gave me a whole new outlook on life. I thank God for forgiving me and allowing me to forgive myself and others because I don't feel so stuck anymore. And that's honestly probably where my peace came from. It came from forgiveness. So number 10, consistency is key. After forgiving and letting go of a lot of things, I was able to focus on things that are more important. I let go of the distractions and my life and moving it forward, I was able to focus on the vision God gave me. I was able to get clear on the vision that God has for me. And when you get clear on the vision God gave you and get tunnel vision, you get focused on God's purpose for your life, it brings consistency. Because all you want to do is please God. You become so passionate about what you're doing. You get a sense of love and joy in what you do. So consistently spending time with God and receiving instructions from Him helped me to finish projects because I wanted to be obedient. I trust God when He tells me to do my part because it's for a reason. Consistency is the only way I'm going to get where God is taking me. Let me just give you an example. If I'm running a race and I stop in the middle of a track, I will never see the finish line. But if I keep running, at some point, I'm going to see that big finish sign. And yeah, so finally being consistent has helped me to finish projects that I started years ago. I'm talking like years ago. And it has helped me to be so proud because all I had to do was stay consistent. Even with this YouTube, this is the first time I've been consistent for the past going on 4 months. And it's helped me to bring back discipline into my life because I lost it at one point. But being consistent, Breon is back. Bigger and better, baby. I am back. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish. I hope this thing cool, not really burn my mouth, but that's all I have for today. 2024 will be full of lessons as well, I'm sure of it. But God willing, I will be back December 31st, 24 to tell you the lessons that I have learned then also. So see you guys Thursday at 4 p.m. for our next video. I love you guys and I'll see you soon. Bye.